To members of the media on the call, please press star 1 at this time to get in the queue to ask questions for head coach Tyson Summers of Georgia Southern. Coach, before we get to questions, can you give us your thoughts on last week's game against Georgia Tech?
Yes, sir. Well, I certainly think that Georgia Tech and Coach Johnson, his staff, did a really good job, obviously, and give them a lot of credit for the way they started. Where we really hurt ourselves is obviously not being able to come out. And the first 5 minutes of the game, we're down 14-0 and gave up 2 big plays defensively that really hurt us and let them get out to a quick start. And we try to always talk to our players about getting out to a fast start. We didn't do that. I will give our players and our staff a lot of credit for being able to make some adjustments and being able to continue to play to where we needed to try to play. The rest of the game, I thought that we did. We had a lot of improvements defensively after the first 3 series. I made a couple of adjustments and wound up being able to hold them to a certain degree throughout the second and third quarter without any more points. And then our offense, again, when you're playing a team that's as much ball control as they are, and we try to do the same thing, you wind up not having a lot of possessions. But there was, I do think that there is no such thing as a moral victory by any stretch of the imagination, and we certainly felt like going into the game that we were going to win the game. But there is improvement to be made, and I do think that we improved this last week, particularly when it comes to our third down conversions on offense and when it comes to our red zone offense. And I thought we played with a better tempo. And defensively, again, not the showing that we would have liked to have had. And but I do think they came back and played well, played hard, made adjustments, and then did give ourselves a chance to be within striking distance in the fourth quarter.
Thank you, Coach. And your team next plays at New Mexico State this Saturday. Could you give us a little preview of the Aggies before you head into this Saturday's game?
Yes, sir. Well, I think that Doug Martin and his staff, you continue to see them improve, with everything that they're doing on each side. And, again, between Coach Martin and Coach Spaziani over there, I think they're certainly doing a good job. What the thing that jumps out to you is that they're a physical football team, and they are certainly guys that like to run and hit and play the game the way it's supposed to be played. As you sit there and you go through it, again, they have a number of players on offense, obviously starting with Larry Rose, a running back, dynamic player, with 1,700 yards last year. Quarterback is certainly a good player. And they've got a number of receivers that are good players that continue to do good things with the ball and continue to make plays when they have their opportunities on the ball each time. And, again, I know that they've got a couple of guys dinged up, but, again, I think that they're playing well, and they lead our league certainly in offensive passing, which is, really impressive, and obviously have the 1-2 punch, again, with having Larry Rose on the other side as a runner for them. Defensively, give them a couple different looks. I do think that they'd like to start as a 4-down front, and then they certainly are a team that will play some quarters versus you and some variations of that. Will cover 3, and then obviously they're a pressure team, and they want to be able to put pressure on people. So I think that they've done a nice job so far, and we've got to be able to play our style and our brand of the game to be able to and get back into some of those things. And it'll be a tough road game for us. New Mexico's a long way from Statesboro.
Thank you very much, Coach. We'll go to our first questions from Justin Baxley with the Macon Telegraph.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Morning, Justin.
If you could just talk a little bit about being on the road here for the last few weeks. Seems like you guys haven't been home in a while, and again going back out on the road this week.
Well, again, this has been a 4-game stretch for us, being on the road, and really over a period of 5 weeks. We don't want to sit there and make any excuses about it. At the end of the day, that's the schedule that we were given, and New Mexico State is the next team on our schedule, and we need to find a way to have a good plan between, a long distance travel with New Mexico State and then a quick turnaround with App State on a Thursday night. So, we got to be able to find a way to go out there and take a win, and again, not make excuses about the road and the schedule that we've been dealt.
How important is it to go out and grab a win this week and kind of get back on track before you do play App State on Thursday night?
Well, it's crucial for us. Again, I still think we're in a position to where we can control our own destiny. You know, as far as Sun Belt play goes, and as far as being able to have an opportunity to win our conference. So this is the next opponent, and the next team that we sit there and play. I certainly think that New Mexico State again has certainly got good coaches and got good players across the board, and certainly think Coach Martin's got that thing headed in the right direction. And with that, it'll be a big challenge for us. And again, obviously, with it being a long trip, it's as important as any game as we've had all year.
Have you seen anything in the tape or and looking at it that you feel like you guys can exploit? They're giving up around 500 yards a game, about even across running and passing. Will we see, Georgia Southern come out and pass a little bit more, knowing that?
No, sir. I wouldn't want to get into what we're trying to exploit.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Coach. You have a good one.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Justin, and thank you, Coach Summers. Those are all the questions we have for you today. We appreciate your time as always.
Okay. Thank you all so much. Appreciate your time. Bye-bye.